Hi guys, a very warm welcome to the channel. In case it's the first time you're tuning in, my name is Niels van Roij. I'm a car designer specializing in car design for coach building, so making cars like a tailor-made suit. Today I'll do a design review on the Mercedes-Maybach S-Class, the 2021 model. This was actually one of the requests that we received from you guys watching our movies online. Thanks for that. We'll have a few more videos coming. We recently did a A8 review, the D3 A8. We had a look at the Lexus LS400, the BMW 7 Series, and there is a whole selection of videos coming up on older cars. So these are all the sketched cars, let's say, so either red or yellow sketches. These were a little while ago. We'll have a look at the Volvo V50 in the future, the Golf 4, the first generation Audi TT. Very eclectic group of cars, very interesting. But nevertheless, let's first have a look at the 2021 Mercedes-Maybach S-Class. And I'll talk you through actually the launch video of that car. It was launched online due to COVID obviously, and today we'll have a look together at this launch video.
Sophisticated luxury. This is not just a house. This is not just a watch. And come on, this is not just a car. So what makes a product stand out? Excellence, craftsmanship, and technology. But there's more. It's about creating this unique and exclusive retreat for relaxation and inspiration for those customers who are in search of something truly extraordinary, something no other brand can offer, something like this, the new Mercedes-Maybach S-Class.
All right, well, I'm always a bit sad with launch videos. You know, it is marketing nonsense. I don't understand why we cannot just tell the honest story about why a brand builds cars. But nevertheless, they discuss a few interesting things. A retreat of luxury, comfort, obviously, but a retreat. They discuss basically that a S-Class should give a certain sense of calm, driving it, sitting in the back. So a Mercedes-Maybach S-Class should definitely do that. That's an interesting one to remember, because we're going to have a look at the interior in a moment, and I think it does everything but doing what they just said in that little cheesy introduction that they set out to do with the car. Let's first have a look at the proportional statement of the car. Car designers look at these newer cars, as they always do, proportional statement, 10 meters away from the car, then the surfacing, the skin of the car, the second layer, and then the third layer is the jewelry, the details. I think Mercedes has had issues with with the S-Class, not just, but with any of their cars, since the early 90s basically. So the S-Class, the last, I think, proper S-Class, let's just call it what it is the W140. It wasn't necessarily the prettiest, the most refined when it comes to its aesthetics, but it was conceptually, I think, a lot better than everything that followed. So it started the S-Class before it was called the S-Class with the ponton. But then, to me, I think the W111 really truly started that sort of properly Germanic, proud, but pure and simple in the right way kind of setup of the car. So the proportions were proud, they were clean, Bauhaus-like, fantastic surfacing, beautiful details, but calm. A car that would make you relax, you know, not just by looking at it, but also traveling in it. The W108 followed, the W116, the car from the 70s, then maybe the most well-balanced S-Class, the W126. gorgeous proportions, elongated, very clean. It just everything in this car tells you that this is the best car in the world, right? And that's what Mercedes-Benz should do through their design. Your design language, your brand DNA, is a way of communicating what it is that you do and why you do it. The W140 was criticized for being too visually heavy, too impactful. It was even called a cathedral by some journalists. And all the fierce criticism on that car made them likely design the W220 a lot softer. But it might be a softer car. Its proportions might be a bit better. I'll be very honest about that compared to the W140, which was a bit too high. Even Bruno Sacco, fantastic chief designer at Mercedes-Benz, said that the car was pushed too much upwards, basically. But nevertheless, it's not a relevant design anymore. And the same goes for the W221, the outgoing W222, and then now the 7th generation S-Class, the W223. So again, if we have a look at this car, at least it doesn't have these wacky, weird surfaces anymore. At least it's cleaned up a bit. It's a bit hard to see in this side view on the lounge movie, but nevertheless, it's a lot cleaner. But it's still soft. It's like a bar of soap. It doesn't have this beautiful, clean, but also self-insured surfaces, right? It's a weird blob from the side, and then from the front, which we'll have a look at in a moment, there's this massive grille. Of course, it's a trend now, but again, these guys invented a motor car. They should use that heritage, arguably one of the most beautiful, such a long heritage with fantastic models to get inspiration from as a car designer. They should use that in the right way, like Rolls-Royce did with the Phantom 7. They took the proportions of the Cloud and the old Phantoms from the 60s and the 70s and pushed that right into the future. An utterly modern interpretation of the essence of the brand DNA of Rolls-Royce. That is what's lacking with this car. Then we have a look at these wheels, which sort of link to these AMG wheels, the monoblock wheels. Beautiful wheels, properly Teutonic, properly Bauhaus-like. They were applied to the cars in the 80s and the 90s even. But why put them on a luxury motor car? AMG wheels versus your luxury, it's two different worlds. So I don't get that. I understand the wheels. They're actually pretty clean and Teutonic. I think they link way too strongly to the AMG cars that Mercedes still makes, and these monoblocks they still make too. So don't get that. If you say this is a proper luxury car, then make it a proper luxury car. Then don't link to your sporty heritage, because you've got Mercedes AMG for that and not Mercedes-Maybach. Anyway, so looking at the details here of the surround, the chrome surround, it's all rather blobby. And then, okay, let's wait at this grille. For some reason, there are a lot of German brands that struggle enormously with getting rid of the cameras and the radar systems in their cars. For some reason, like a Land Rover manages to get them all away behind the new facade, let's say the new grille, the new nose of the new Defender. But, this brand that has very deep pockets, all this knowledge about technology, can't properly integrate them into the design. I don't get that. But anyway, let's zoom out a bit more. And we see this face that is so, in a way, it's character. It lacks character. It's a blob, and then to counter that, they just added like kilos of chrome. The entire face is chrome. Why? This is not Teutonic. It's not German. It's none of the previous S-classes up until the W140 that we just discussed ever had that. They were always clean, pure cars. The way it looks out of its eyes is also not overly intelligent. It has a bit of a focus. It's a bit cleaner compared to the previous generation, again, which had these wild air intakes, like it was some sort of monster, front-engined super sports car. So again, it conveys the wrong message. The nose should tell you about what this car is, and massive air intakes in a luxury sedan, it's just not, it's not the correct story. So I don't get that. So like I said, the surfacing is a bit cleaner. I want to say something kind about the proportional statement. This stretch door, since let's say the first real big Maybach, the new interpretation I mean of the brand, they had that, and even the Chinese E-Class had that special way of stretching the car. In China, a lot of cars have European cars like the A6 and even the A4 or the 3 Series and the 5 Series have these stretched wheelbase versions. And Mercedes-Benz has always, since that Maybach, the first interpretation, done this interesting new shut line with the door. So I'll give them that. I'll give them that. The car, and here again in white or in red. So here it's having different wheels, but also not. Does this say ultimate luxury? I don't know. To me, it's super busy. It's almost messy, and what you don't want in a luxury car is a mess, especially if you're making the ultra luxury car. You want peace and quiet. These people have complex lives. Okay, so let's go into the interior. Screens again, and almost every brand goes to screens now, and it's understandable because they're cheaper to make, and the least amount of switchgear you have, the better it is, the cheaper it is for a manufacturer. One remark, okay, let me try to be positive as well on this interior. They ditched these horrible round air vents, which were directly nicked from Bentley and Rolls-Royce, obviously. There was no reason to have them in a Mercedes-Benz. Now they put these four eyes in a way on top of the dashboard, obviously to make room for the large screen. I see a few buttons, I think maybe 5 or 6 on the bottom of the big screen. Must be maybe a few more scattered around, but again, proper human-machine interface is with switchgear. It's not with a screen, and especially those who make the best car in the world should know. And they know, but they don't care enough, because this is a cheaper way of producing cars, and it's like a showroom gimmick, right? Or a YouTube gimmick, if you like. People see this online and go like, oh wow, that's advanced, it's tech, it's like my smartphone. Yeah, but you will take your eyes off the road if you just have to turn up the volume of your radio, or if you want to switch on your heated seat. And that's bad design, specifically again for a brand that is striving for perfection. Anyway, let's continue. So, okay, remember they discussed creating this calm and relaxation, and a sort of like a sanctuary, if you like. If you look at the back of this car, and it may well be engineered like no other modern car. It might be well even being put together better compared to a Bentley or a Rolls-Royce. What you see is not calmed. There's an enormous amount of shapes and lines and surfaces and different surface treatments and different materials. And then there is not just a light bar there in the door, but it's some sort of LCD screen, I think, like a, it can do sort of graphics. And again, fantastic for in the showroom, great for YouTube, but not if you're traveling in that car. If you're an executive, a CEO, and you're busy and you're in the back of the car and everything around you is moving and you've got big screens in your face which don't move away, they're stuck on the back of the seat, it's not relaxation. And one has to wonder if this looks, again, right? You have to convey a message to the designer as a car designer. Does this look like the best car in the world? Like a Germanic car? They have to be proud of their heritage. They have to be proud of where they come from, you know. You have to translate that in design into aesthetics. And I think they failed, I'm sorry to say so. Despite all the features, despite all the tech, despite how wonderful all the materials have been put together in, you know, complex double curved wood, and I can see that, you know, the entire back end of the seats are in wood. Wildly complex, wildly costly, you know, but why? So they were inspired also apparently by these Maybach concept car, Mercedes-Maybach concept cars. They made a coupe, a Vision, Mercedes-Maybach coupe, and the convertible, the blue car behind it. And you know, people, I understand why they fall in love with cars like these. They're super long, elongated nose, cap rearward, only 2 people sitting in there, droopy rear end. But let's take away these almost idiotic proportions. You know, sure, it looks great on movies, it looks fantastic on a car show, but it's nothing realistic. A car that is likely 2+ meters wide, 7 meters long, and then like half a meter high, you know, so it is even more dramatic because the roofline is so low. It's design without any substance, without any content. Yes, they're dramatic, but take away these idiotic proportions and it's sort of a blob. Nothing here tells you, if you don't see the nose, if you don't see the rear end, if you don't see the emblems, that this is a Mercedes-Benz. Whereas the cars that we just discussed from the heritage, you know, take away the grille, take away the entire nose, you know, just looking at the door, you will see that this is something properly built, something sturdy, something solid, right? Bauhaus. And that is what's lacking. And it's what, like I said earlier, what Rolls-Royce translated very well in older modern cars, the Wraith, the Dawn, the Phantom 7, you know, they really missed a trick. And sure, you know, very interesting technology where if you move, the light follows you, you know, this is proper engineering, proper German stuff. Technology is there, but it doesn't show true design. That's the issue here. So let's have a look at some last beauty shots of this Mercedes-Maybach S-Class. Obviously China is an important market, so they'll point at that in this movie as well. You know, it's all superficial to me. You know, it's superficial beauty. It's, you know, a certain elegance in the car because there is like flowing lines, but it's not really an elegant pure Mercedes-Maybach or Mercedes-Benz. You know, it's slapped on, tacked on chrome. It's glossiness without quality, and it's a shame. You know, they probably have the biggest budgets in the automotive world. You know, with unbelievable lighting technology and car technology in any way, shape or form. Probably fantastic engineering, very safe, probably drives like nothing else on the road, but to me, it doesn't deserve the star. So thanks for tuning in and having a look at this Mercedes-Maybach review. Please do let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with me. And also let me know which car we should review next.